Okay, homie Toko, welcome to another installment of the House of Kung Fu. Today, we are going to try and do something new. I'm going to start doing live streams for MMA fights, maybe even boxing. And I decided to do this because just starting to see some things in MMA that, even though it's called mixed martial arts, the martial arts principles um, are not really being utilized, and it's not really the fighters; it's the coaches. Honestly, it's one thing. Sometimes some of these coaches have never fought, So I think it's really good to for the people within the martial arts community, who have used their stuff in real life or combat, should start talking about some of these fights, have their input. So this is called from a martial artist's perspective, right? So here are the top three things that I think Max Holloway must do to win tonight. First of all, in my opinion, he won the first two fights. We can debate that all day, but if not, he point wise, strategy wise. But I think Max Holloway's ego may have gotten in the way of the last fight, only because, if you look at it from between round one and round three, he did something and then he stopped doing something that was, the main strategy and key for him to win those rounds. You would think, with how dominant he knocked him down twice at the end of each round, right? So you would think what happened in between one then and there, right? Max Holloway, he's the type of guy who likes to, test himself, right? And you saw that in his last fight where he was just like, best boxer UFC, baby, doing the Anderson Silva and the Mayweather and all that stuff, which is cool, right? But he needs to do that continuously. And if you saw last fight with Volkanovski, the third round on, he stopped using his range, right? He stopped using his height. So that's the first thing, right? He needs to keep utilizing his height, right? You don't have to stand, if you stand in the pocket, right, when you are a big man and a tall man, right, what's going to happen is, I'm cleaning right now, so don't mind the mess that you may see, cleaning and eating at the same time. If you don't utilize your height, a shorter man, is going to be at an advantage, right? You are making his job easier. So Volkanovski, yeah, he has, good cardio and stuff, but it wasn't really the cardio thing because he didn't have to work hard because the target was right there. Right? So whereas before he had to use, and that's the thing about Volkanovski, he's not a martial artist. He's a gym rat, right? Martial arts wasn't even his sport. If you look at when he started, he's just like, well, I decided to fight, right? And it's like, it's more of an attribute thing for him, right? And I think that if Max continuously utilizes his height and reach like he did between round one and round three, right, you can expose him, right? The second thing Max Holloway needs to do is utilize his front kick. Right? You've seen too many fights with real martial artists like Lyoto Machida, like Anderson Silva, right? They have great front kick knockouts. Front kick is like a jab, right? And if you look at Volkanovski, his head movement isn't that great, but there's so much power coming from possibly an open target, you don't want to really stand there. And if you do try to go from the upper target, he hits you because he hits you from weird angles. I think that if Max utilizes his front kick a whole lot more and being able to kick while on movement, be able to throw round and straight techniques off and on movement. Because if Max can only throw that high volume from a stationary stance, somebody like Volkanovski is just going to knock you out, keep hitting you, because you don't have a whole lot of power. And we saw that when he fought Dustin, right? he could have beat Dustin, but he didn't have enough pop on his punches, right? It's one thing just to have stamina, right? But it's another thing to have that pop, right? So that leads me to the third thing, right? Max hopefully has been doing some type of training for power, right? Not strength, not knockout power, but power, and being able to express that power not just from a stationary stance and moving forward. You got to be able to utilize your weapons at all angles, right? Otherwise, a person who can take your punch, even though you're hitting them, when they hit you, it's going to do a whole lot more damage, right? So those are my three things. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and and then we'll also do a recap live stream, or we might even do a live stream together, and watch it together, a little play-by-play, right? So hit that like, hit that subscribe, and keep training from a master's perspective. Oops. I'm trying to think, how do you turn this damn thing off?